Amsterdam is one of the most popular destinations in Europe. Today we're going to share 10 mistakes to avoid on your trip to Amsterdam, so whether you want to stroll canal-lined streets, take a boat tour, or visit artwork by Dutch masters, you'll be ready for the perfect trip. The culture of biking in the Netherlands is well known throughout the world, and you may be interested in biking through the beautiful streets of Amsterdam. If you're going to be biking or walking in Amsterdam, there's a few things you need to be aware of, mainly that you always need to be alert and paying attention to your surroundings. That may sound obvious, but it's harder than you'd think to marvel at the beautiful architecture and picturesque canals while biking and paying attention to what's in front of you and where you're going, or maybe who's passing you on the right. Or if you're lost or need to check where you're going, it's very easy to unintentionally stop in the middle of the path and block people and make some locals very angry. If there's a separate bike lane and pedestrian walkway, don't walk in the bike lane. Local bikers are very fast and may fly by quickly and cross crosswalks or streets without pausing, so pay attention when crossing streets and when walking to make sure you aren't in the way of any bikers, for your safety and theirs. If biking, take it slow at first to get used to it, and maybe consider booking a tour with a local who can watch out for you, or biking outside of congested Amsterdam. Pay attention to your surroundings, as you don't want to block local bikers who live in Amsterdam and are using it as a means to get around rather than for sightseeing. If the bike lane and the pedestrian walking lane are shared, walk on the left side and bike on the right. So if you're walking, you need to pay attention for bikers that may be passing you on the right, and if you're biking, you would pass other bikers on the left. So when you're biking, keep an eye out on the left for bikers passing you and pedestrians. We didn't bike in Amsterdam, we biked out in the countryside, and we still saw an accident of a local biker trying to pass a group of tourists. He was passing on the left, and the tourists didn't realize it and started drifting to the left, and their bikes clipped and they both fell. Thankfully everyone was okay, but just goes to show that you really need to be alert and aware when you're on a bike or if you're near bikes, walking or whatever. Amsterdam is well known for attractions like the Anne Frank House and the Rijksmuseum. Don't miss out by not booking your tickets in advance. Tickets for the Anne Frank House go on sale on Tuesday at 10 a.m. for the next 6 weeks. When I checked, all tickets were sold out except for the last day in the evening 6 weeks in advance. So be sure to set an alarm 6 weeks in advance to book your tickets if you'd like to visit somewhere like the Anne Frank House. If you miss out, you can try and get a tour on Get Your Guide. We've done this not in Amsterdam, but in other locations when we've missed out on tickets that have sold out. Usually tour companies have some available. It'll be more expensive than purchasing tickets yourself directly from the museum, but you'll get to see it, and if that's what's important to you, it could be worth the extra cost. I've linked a tour through Get Your Guide that could be an option if you're in this situation. For the Rijksmuseum, you also need to book tickets in advance for a specific day and time. While I checked right now and tickets are available next day, it's a good idea to be prepared, especially during the busy summer season, so that you don't waste time standing in line or risk not being able to visit. While it may help save some time if you want to book your canal tour with a specific day and time in advance, it's not necessary because there's so many companies that offer this, and especially not during the summer, you can pretty much just walk up and get on the next boat that's leaving. If you're looking for a museum that doesn't require reservations, check out the Our Lord in the Attic Museum for a unique hidden gem in Amsterdam. If you love travel and are enjoying this video, we'd love to have you subscribe to join us as we travel through Europe, Mexico, and the world. The next two mistakes are around the Netherlands' most famous flower, the tulip. Don't arrive outside of tulip season expecting to find fields of tulips. While you can still find tulips in select locations, those beautiful sprawling fields really won't be found outside of tulip season, which is late March to mid-May. Even if you arrive during that season, don't expect to find those fields in Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a large city and doesn't have space for tulip fields. May sound obvious, you can still find tulips in Amsterdam, usually in the streets and local gardens. Some suggestions to find tulips would be on National Tulip Day in early January, or during Tulip Month in April. If you'll be visiting outside of tulip season, consider checking out the Tulip Museum in Amsterdam or Bloemenmarkt, which literally just means flower market, but that's how it's labeled in Google Maps. It's a floating flower market with bulbs and flowers throughout different seasons, so you can buy some bulbs to take home or buy some local flowers. For those incredible tulip fields and the famous Keukenhof garden, you'll need to travel outside of Amsterdam to the town of Lies, about 40 minutes to an hour depending on how you're getting there. And that leads us to our next mistake, which is not leaving Amsterdam. While Amsterdam is amazing, there are so many places to explore outside of the city, and it's a mistake to not visit at least a couple. Some of our favorite recommendations include the adorable fishing villages of Volendam and Marken. You can visit the tulip fields in Lies. If you're visiting outside of tulip season in that same region, consider checking out the sand dunes and coastal towns of Noordwijk and Katwijk. You can also visit the charming towns that are kind of like a mini Amsterdam with canals running through, like Leiden. And if you're feeling like traveling a little farther, consider doing a day trip or an overnight trip to another country like Belgium. Public transportation is generally easy to use in Amsterdam and the Netherlands. If using buses and you're tapping on with a card, don't forget to also tap off. The buses are by distance, so when you reach your stop, you need to tap the card off to let them know that's where you get off so they know how much to charge you. Otherwise, they'll charge you the max amount, which would not be fun. For trains within the Netherlands, those prices are set, so it doesn't matter if you buy your tickets minutes before or months before, it'll be the same price. But for trains to other countries like Belgium, the prices are better the earlier you buy. Don't make the mistake of not buying your tickets in advance because you could save a lot of money. Weather in the Netherlands can be unpredictable and quite rainy, even in the summer. We were surprised during our first visit in July that it rained on us in the afternoon. So it's best to be prepared with an umbrella or at least a light rain jacket when visiting from October to February, which is rainy season, and even June to September in the summer, you can still get some rain, so best to be prepared. And lastly, probably the most important part of any trip is the food. Don't miss out on all the local food you can find in markets like stroopwafel, frites, boevertjes, and pickled herring. While I would much prefer boevertjes to pickled herring, boevertjes are mini pancakes with lots of powdered sugar, butter, and other toppings that you can pick. I really like Nutella, and they're probably my favorite thing that we ate while in the Netherlands. Now you're ready to avoid mistakes when visiting Amsterdam and the rest of the Netherlands for the perfect trip. Thanks for traveling with us, and we'll see you next time.